Well, my name is Larry. I'm 77 from Iowa, and I'm going to share my recipe for the best Greek Coney Island sauce I've ever found. I've looked for 30 years online and tried exotic recipes with 15 ingredients. You know, when you get beyond 3 or 4 spices, you're not going to be able to taste the difference in every one of them. And like a lot of good things, this recipe is simple. I got it from a young Greek fella who made it in his uncle's hot dog shop. So I know it's an authentic Greek sauce. I wanted one like you get in a Greek diner or in a Greek hot dog shop. I didn't want one of these glops of chili on top or cheese or any of that stuff. This is just your basic sauce, and I think you'll like it, but please try it exactly per recipe the first time. After that, if you decide to alter it, you're on your own. But this has worked good for me for a long time, and it's simple. We're going to start with some oil. The Greeks say it is the oil that brings the flavor to the tongue. Makes sense. I'm going to use a little lard. You can use canola oil, use butter, whatever you want, but you need a little oil in there. And if you're worried about calories, come on, this makes about a pound altogether with the ingredients. You need a couple teaspoons on a hot dog, and how often do you have chili dogs? So realistically, I wouldn't worry about it. So we've got my oil warming up, and we're going to bloom our spices. Again, it's simple. We're going to use 1 tablespoon of good grade chili powder. 1 tablespoon. We're going to use 1 teaspoon of granulated garlic, and I was told it's important to use granulated garlic, not garlic powder. Teaspoon of granulated garlic, half a teaspoon, and this is kind of the secret ingredient, although I have seen it recently in another recipe, half a teaspoon of curry powder. And as soon as these spices begin to bloom and you smell them, you'll know that it's the real deal. And that's what we're doing. We're blooming just for a minute. We're just going to bloom our spices for a minute. Boy, that smell will get you. It's wonderful. Just to get them to bloom in the oil. Then we're going to add 2/3 to 3/4 cup of water. And it's not critical because you're going to be cooking it a little while, and then you can add more if you want. Now, you want this sauce to be soupy. You don't want it to be a thick, gloppy chili. You want it to be thin, and kind of an oily, thin sauce. So now I've added the water, 2/3 to 3/4 cup of water, and then I'm going to add 1/2 pound of hamburger. It does not matter if you use 85/80, if you use cheap hamburger, it works fine. I think the meat just absorbs the flavor of the sauce, and about all it does. Now, what I like to do is put this either in the fridge, or you can leave it out a little while because it's got all the spices in there. But to let the meat soak up the water, then it'll be easier to break it up. But for speed purposes right now, I'm going to take a potato masher. I'm going to mash this together. And you want to get your hamburger as fine as you can. And being that there's water in there, that really helps break down the meat. And you're going to notice when you bring this to a boil, then reduce it to a simmer, you're going to realize it kind of starts to separate. And that's a good thing. Now I'm going to add additionally, this is my own addition, but I do put maybe 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt in here. That wasn't in the original recipe, but I thought a little bit of salt wouldn't hurt. So this is what we've got, and it will begin to separate and make what you want as your sauce. I hate to run this video too long. I don't like people that spend too much time doing a simple thing, but we need to bring this to a boil, and you'll see how it separates a little bit. You get the nice red oil on top, and the longer this stuff sits in the fridge, the better it is. And I've used little small plastic bags, forget what you call the real small bags, and after it's cooled, and put them in that, and that way it can make about 6 hot dogs on one and freeze it, you know. And it's only a 1/2 pound of hamburger, This makes enough for a lot of Coneys because you only use a couple teaspoons. Now while this is cooking, let me tell you the final product. You can either steam your bun or nuke it for 8 seconds, something like that. Cook your dog the way you want. Griddle it, I like that. Boil it, that's fine. So you got your steamed bun, you put your cooked hot dog on there. This is important, 1 thin line of mustard. If you're a mustard fan, maybe a little more. Got your dog on your bun, 1 thin line of mustard, and about 2 teaspoons is all you're gonna need of this sauce. It's fairly highly flavored. About 2 teaspoons of your meat sauce, and then a layer of fresh, finely diced onion. I use Vidalia, you can use white, red, doesn't matter. Finely chopped fresh onion on the top. So you got your dog, got your mustard, your meat sauce, and your onion, and way to go. Let me know if you try it exactly as it is and like it, and I can show you a little bit now how it's starting to kind of separate, you know, and you want it to be like this. You can simmer it for about 20 minutes, very low simmer, nice. You're done. I really hope you enjoy it. I searched for so many years to find this sauce, this basic Coney Island recipe, and gosh, I love it. Thanks for watching.